Hello and welcome to another video tutorial brought to you by AWS, and in this tutorial I'll be going over Illustrator, which I haven't done yet so far. I've done some Photoshop 101s, which I'll be doing in Illustrator as well, and more Photoshop ones. But today in Illustrator I'm going to show you how to create a fully 3D, which you can manipulate and rotate round, snooker ball. So if you create a new print document, I always go to just, if I go to custom, then 1280 by 720, and I always use pixels. So let's try that again. 1280 by 720. Okay, so click OK, and you see we have a new document here. And what we need to do first is create a circle. So go under your rectangle tool, hold down, and go to your ellipse tool, and click and drag, and you'll see it drags out a circle. Now we want to hold shift, because then that constrains the proportions, so it creates a perfect circle. If we let go, see we have a circle. So I'm going to make my snooker ball orange, just for argument's sake. Now you can choose whatever fill you want, but the stroke, we need that to be none, so we don't want a stroke for this. So click your stroke. You can see we've got foreground and background. For example, in Photoshop we have fill, which is the colour inside, and the stroke, which is basically the outline. And if you hit your stroke and press the / key, or just this little box with a slash inside it, that will get rid of a stroke. So I'm going to use an effect called 3D Revolve, which is in the 3D effects within Illustrator. But if I apply it now, let's just see, because we need to obviously make a sphere. But if I go to Effect 3D Revolve, click the preview on, it creates a donut shape, which obviously it can be good if you want a donut shape, but obviously we want a sphere. So what we're going to have to do is, if we go to cancel, we're going to have to split this circle into two semicircles, and there's an easy way to do that. If you go to your line segment tool, and that's the / key for a shortcut, and hold shift again, and that will create a straight line. Kind of in the middle. It doesn't matter if you're off the middle, we can always align it later. And I'm just gonna, just for visibility purposes, I'm gonna make the stroke black, and let's just thicken it up. So 4-point stroke. It doesn't really matter what stroke it is, all I'm doing it so I can see the line I've just created. Right, click and drag to make a selection, so you select both of your objects, and open your align palette, which will be window align or shift F7. Now the two that we want is horizontal align center and vertical align center, and then that's all centered up and all aligned, which is good. Now go to window pathfinder or shift control F9, or if you're on the Mac that would be shift command F9, I believe. And we want to click under the Pathfinder section, click this one, which is Divide. Now you see, it didn't do much. Well, it doesn't look like it did much, but we've actually got a group of two semicircles. So if we go to Control or Command if you're on the Mac, Shift G, or just go to Object and Group. Now we have two semicircles which you can manipulate. Now, what the revolve feature does is it defaults on using the left axis, so this bit here. So if we were to apply this revolve now, we still won't get the right effect, because if you check the preview on, it creates a kind of cylinder type shape, which obviously we still don't want, because what it's done is it's used this side and revolved itself around that side, which we don't want to happen. So if we delete that one, we don't need that one anymore, and select this one, which is the other semicircle, go to 3D Revolve, check your preview on, and look, we have a sphere. Very nice sphere. And obviously now, in the 3D Revolve options, we can set a specific axis if we want, a number. Say we put in 43 or minus 43, or you can just, if you roll over these, it'll have red, green, and blue lines that pop up, and that will make it so you can rotate. Oh, hello. It's been a bit weird. Spazzing up. There we go. Okay. Or if you want it to just, rotate the whole thing, if you go onto one of the faces of this cube, then you can rotate to all the axes at the same time. You can put some perspective on this. Ooh. Which is nice if you obviously want it on a snooker table, but I'm not going to do this. You can actually change the angle at which it revolves. So, we can create if we go to 180 degrees, you see it's chopped basically the sphere in half. Let's put that back up to 0 or 360. And you have an offset at which it revolves, which is kind of a gap between, so you can create a kind of ring shape if you want that. And you can also change the edge at which it revolves. So if we put that back, see, we get the same shape that we did earlier. And we're going to put that back to the left edge. And obviously you can change which shading you want. If you want no shading, such as the circle. Diffuse shading, which is kind of a darker matte shading, or plastic shading, which is kind of shiny and nice for our ball texture. Now if we go to more options, you see we can add lights. So if I create new light button here, and just put it over this side, so we've got a strong light source coming from here, and you can change the intensity, the ambient light, the highlight intensity, and the highlight size, and actually the amount of blend steps. So it's going from white all the way to our black or our darker orange here. So if you change that to 8, you see it's kind of like a kind of lower quality in a way, but if we put that straight up to 256, then you get a nice smooth blend between them. I'm going to put that down though. To be honest, for our snooker ball we don't really need to change any of these settings, but I was just showing you so you know in the future. So click OK.